Alright, this is the 4th Nemesis Prime I own. Looking good, glad to see the Nemesis Prime collection grow. How's it looking for Shattered Glass? Not too good. What's going on, everybody? Republic Cinema here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Baiwei knockoff of the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, except in Nemesis Prime colors. Now, I just want to start off with something. It is really cool to see this mold get a Nemesis Prime repaint. Whether it be the knockoff or that very expensive Expo exclusive Nemesis Prime that Hasbro, or I think it's Takara that's working on that. But let's be honest, who really needs that when you can get this guy on AliExpress for cheaper? Now again, this is a Baiwei knockoff, but rather a Baiwei knockoff Nemesis Prime repaint of the Studio Series 102 Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. So far, it is the only repaint that Baiwei has done so far. It would be great for them to do a Shattered Glass repaint and an Ultra Magnus repaint as well. Also, I think there would have been one part in Transformers Rise of the Beasts where Optimus Prime does in fact get sucked into Unicron, which would have set up for something menacing, probably a new Nemesis Prime in the sequel. But again, that scene never made it to the final cut, as it was part of the deleted scenes, in which, let's be honest, some of those deleted scenes were really cool. But anyways, before we take a look at the figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging. Starting off, one thing I like to point out is that this box art is the same as the original Baiwei knockoff of the Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime, with the same artwork of what appears to be the 3.0 version of the Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, and the rest is all words, names, and logos. On the top is nothing, on the bottom is foreign language, on the side is nothing, and on the other side is also nothing. But then you turn to the back, and it's basically the same thing. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the box art. Now back to the figure. So starting off, the painting and sculpting is pretty good. Again, it's basically SS102 Optimus Prime, but with black coloring rather than red or blue. And the translucent plastic for the windows are a little different, as in the original it was just a normal clear plastic, whereas these ones are red. Now, what I'm hoping for is, should Baiwei do a Shattered Glass Optimus Prime repaint of this figure, I'm hoping the clear plastic on the chest is green, as that's accurate. I was thinking there should have been more green on this figure, since this is Nemesis Prime we're talking about, and he does have quite a lot of green paint slapped across his body, but in this toy, there's not much of that going on, except for the waist probably. But anyways, that head sculpt looks pretty good in black, only it kinda looks dead. Also, quality on this figure is not too tight, not too loose, it's just right. There's nothing that's gonna fling around loosely if you shake it. And of course the side skirts are made out of die-cast metal plastic. I mean, it's a knockoff, of course something had to be made out of die-cast metal. For other knockoffs of the SS102 Optimus Prime, the die-cast metal is either located in the thighs or the crotch. Oh, and in case you're wondering, for my copy at least, the head is easily removable. And now moving on to accessories. So starting off with his swords, which are unfortunately left unpainted, unlike the original knockoff of the SS102 Optimus Prime swords, which simply plug in onto that slot right there. And here you have Nemesis Prime dual wielded with his swords. You could also tab the sword onto that side slot right there. And for weapon storage, they simply go in the back, but they do a better job at holding on to the other slots. And now moving on to his arm cannons, which unlike the other arm cannons which were red, are now black. You'll have to fold in the hand like so, and then make sure you have the right tab and right slot, tabbing onto the right slot and right tab, and there you go. And now here's Nemesis Prime dual wielded in his arm cannons this time around. In case you are having trouble trying to tell which is which, all you have to do is make sure that the longest side panel is facing inwards. Same thing for what I think are supposed to be the flashlights. For weapon storage, they simply plug in onto the back, only in the bigger slots and not the smaller slots. And you get two extra pieces such as these. This one is used for the alt mode, but this one is used for the Dark of the Moon Jetwing jetpack. All you gotta do is plug in the back piece like this. And then in case you have the knockoff of the SS44 Optimus Prime's Jetwing jetpack, all you gotta do is make sure this is opened upwards and slide this whole thing in. Although I will say the jetpack doesn't necessarily stay in that well. For the alt mode piece right here, you can get creative and use it as a shield for alt mode, which is something I forgot to point out with the other knockoff. And that's pretty much all of the accessories that he comes with. Unfortunately, he does not come with an axe or an ion blaster or even the minifigure of Noah, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. And now moving on to articulation. Starting off ball joint at the head, ups and downs, full rotation, also full rotation at the arm, shoulder bend, bicep swivel, double elbow bend, wrist swivel, and the wrist can also rock from side to side, waist swivel, unintentional ab crunch, side skirt can move out, which allows the legs to spread, leg can move forward, can't move backwards, thigh rotation, bend at the knee, the foot is on a ball joint and a hinge joint, in which for the foot allows for an extended rock from side to side, the foot can move up and down, and can rotate 360. And I think that's pretty much it for articulation, pretty basic, but pretty cool at the same time, especially with that unintentional ab crunch. But anyways, I think it's time we move on to size comparison. Starting off with the Baiwei Optimus Prime, original SS102 Optimus Prime, mainline Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, the oversized MHZ knockoff, which also does have a Nemesis Prime repaint, won't get into that, SS38 Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime, the Mechanical Alliance Nemesis Prime, and the Mechanical Alliance Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, Baiwei Studio Series 04 Nemesis Prime, Baiwei Studio Series 32 Optimus Prime, YOLO Park Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, which would also be cool to see a Nemesis Prime and Shattered Glass Optimus Prime repaint. Almost forgot to mention the recent Studio Series TF1 Optimus Prime, Studio Series Optimus Primal, Baiwei Studio Series Scourge, Studio Series Megatron, Bumblebee, Mirage, Wheeljack or Pablo, Core Class RC, Core Class Noah, the MHZ Noah, and the Baiwei Noah. And now that the size comparison is out of the way, I think it's just about time we get down to transformation, which I may have forgot how to do this transformation, so bear with me. But I think you start off on the top. What you gotta do first is open up the chest pieces. It is recommended to use something to pry this piece out because it is kind of hard to move it out. Make sure you close it right there and then push this whole section downwards. Now don't close the chests yet, as what we're going to do is untab this entire section, move the arms up like so, untab this entire section as well, and then rotate this whole assembly to the other side, and then close in the chests. Move the wheels outwards like so, and now let's work on one of the arms. So starting off, what you will do first is fold in the hands and close all of this back in for now. Rotate this entire section, unfold it completely, and it should look like this. Rotate this silver piece downwards, rotate this whole section, and close it in gradually. Make sure everything snaps into place. Fold this piece down, and move the smokestack like so. Once you've done the same thing to the other arm, you can go ahead and push this whole front bumper section in, and then collapse these two shoulder panels downwards. And that's pretty much the front of the truck. Now let's work on the legs. First of all, make sure everything's straightened out. After that, you're gonna come down here and untab this section, untab this whole assembly, rotate this piece right here, move this foot down and close it all the way in. Then make sure this little tab piece opens out, and then close this whole section in. You do the same thing for the other side, and then you close both of the legs together, tab these two panels together, and then when you move them down whilst folding them at the same time, you're going to make sure that these two tabs right here peg onto these two slots right there, and make sure both of them connect together. You can adjust that if you want. And then next thing you're going to do is move whatever you want to call these pieces downwards, unfold the smokestacks, and then collapse the side panels together. You want to come back to the side panel and close it onto the back of the truck bed. And here you have the Baiwei knockoff Nemesis Prime transformed in his truck mode. Only this time around, it's all black. And the truck mode looks much better with this gap filler right here. Now the stripes would have been green, as I believe that was accurate, but instead Baiwei decided to go with this silver, which for some reason I kind of like a little better, as I always thought the green stripes kind of killed off the menacing look to Nemesis Prime. But either way, the truck mode would still look pretty great with either the silver stripe or the green stripe. And again, it is really cool that Baiwei has made some modifications to the original Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime and completely minimized the robot mode kibble on the back of the truck. Because let's be honest, this looks so much cleaner. For weapon storage, what I like to do is have the arm cannons plugged in onto the sides right there, the swords plugged in onto the truck bed, and it would have been cool for this attachment that helps the knockoff to hold the jetpack to have his own form of alt mode storage, but unfortunately that is not the case. But either way, the blaster cannons look pretty cool as front defense and also rear defense for the truck mode. One more thing I'd like to point out with the arm cannons is that it is possible to remove the side black pieces, but that's the gist of the weapon storage. Now, since this figure has a better trailer hitch, it is compatible with that oversized knockoff of the SS44 Optimus Prime's trailer, and I gotta say, he looks pretty cool with the trailer. After all, he is a semi-truck, and semi-trucks usually do have a trailer. Unless you're Optimus Prime, or in this case, Nemesis Prime, in which either two are seen without a trailer half the time. For a brief comparison, here he is alongside the other Baiwei knockoff of the SS102 Optimus Prime, and the Mechanical Alliance SS38 Optimus Prime, but in Nemesis Prime colors. And then here he is alongside the other two. The improved alt mode for the Baiwei version of the SS102 Optimus Prime is pretty good, but the SS38 Optimus Prime still takes the cake as the most accurate alt mode for the Reboot verse Optimus Prime. But anyways, leave a comment down below which truck mode you like more. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I had to say. Overall, he's a pretty great repaint of an already pretty great figure. If you're looking to pick this figure up, he's available on AliExpress for as little as 20 bucks. Even less than that. Again, as I said in this review before, it would be great to see a Shattered Glass Optimus Prime and a white and blue Ultra Magnus repaint of this figure, as personally I think it is really cool to see a color variety of pretty great figures. In terms of Studio Series army builders that Hasbro has produced, it looks like the Scorponok from Rise of the Beasts are going to receive some of that. I just hope when Hasbro gets into other army builders such as the Auto Troopers, Protoforms, and KSI personnel, they consider doing the same thing too. But in the meantime, Baiwei, make a Shattered Glass Optimus Prime and a Ultra Magnus repaint of this figure, because those are just too cool to not make figures of. But I suppose time will tell when or if those figures ever become a reality. Till then, we have this guy and this guy right here. So overall, pretty much, if you wanted a Nemesis Prime repaint of the 102 Optimus Prime, Baiwei has an affordable one just for you, so in case you're interested, be sure to check it out. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends as well, turn on post notifications so that we don't miss another video, let me know how I did in this review, and most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See ya!